Hi friends, you all ask so many great questions that really send me down a lot of rabbit holes, and I love running down rabbit holes and chasing things and figuring them out. Um, the question, I'm going to do two videos today. The first question came from Giorgio about a comment I made when I reviewed the Dixon DX102, and I made a comment about the hole spacing not being what I was expecting. And the question was, did you mean the hole spacing between the single piece polymer and the 102, or what did you mean? What I meant was I had been playing my Howard before recording that video, and I went from my Howard to the Dixon, unboxed the Dixon and played the Dixon. I'm like, whoa, that just feels so different. That's what I meant. It wasn't between the two Tony Dixons, though I do want to show you differences between them. So I've got a couple of comments that are really important here. First, I have two Tony Dixon DX102s. I only paid for one. I was going to send this back, but they didn't want it back. The first Dixon DX102 I received, this is a factory manufactured instrument. That's nothing against it, but when you receive something that, well, you receive anything that somebody made, you should look at it and make sure it's okay. But I got this Dixon DX102 and started to try and play it. I was having a horrible time trying to figure it out. I was certain it was me. And then I stopped and looked at it. There were no cracks in the mouthpiece. That's something to look at, particularly on something that has a polymer or resin ABS head. I'm looking down and I'm like, well, that third hole's elongated. And I noticed that there were actually either two drill holes, or when the machine went in, it dragged on the way out as it was moving. And so there's actually a misshaping on the third hole, and so wasn't something Dixon was interested in getting back, so I have an extra. So pay attention to your instrument when you get it. Is everything okay? Do that right away, because if down the road you find out something's not okay, it's going to be hard to convince the folks you purchased it from, unless it's something like that. Anyway, the DX102 and the single piece polymer from Tony Dixon. But the conversation about hole spacing, which is a little different between the polymer Dixon and the aluminum bodied Dixon, and the hole diameter, that's another issue, but it's minimal. It's more important to realize that the tone qualities of the instrument are impacted by what the body's made out of. A resin whistle is going to absorb more of the sound waves, and so it's going to mute the tone somewhat. The aluminum will kick all the sound, all those waves out, and absorb much less. However, even with that said, it's the magic happens in the head more than it happens in the body. The body is responsible for creating a lot of the tone qualities, but the primary business happens up in the head. Listen to the aluminum bodied Dixon. Okay? Listen to the polymer. similar in sound profile, and that's because of the head. The resin whistle will be slightly more muted with a little different tone quality to it. But I believe, and some of you have told me this, that if you have the metal Dixon and you have the resin Dixon that's tunable, you have almost the same whistle, which is why so many of you have said you love your tunable resin Dixon, because you paid less for almost the same thing. So, but the hole spacing comment, sorry, that's what started this. The hole spacing comment is, it's a little different. It's more different on my Howard. It's different on my Susato, and it's only minimally different between the two Dixons. And some of that is based on internal diameter of the tube and what the tube's made of. And it's the minimal difference is carried over ever so slightly in the hole diameter. But I'd really need a micrometer to check that out, and I don't have one. I'm using my handy dandy drafting ruler. I hope that answers the question, and I know I threw more in, but and again, I'll do a better comparison video soon. And this, you all are helping me so much figure out differences between whistles and differences between what people want in whistles. Until next time, this is Scott Shane. Happy whistling, my friends.